I am one of the counselors here in Bellevue School District. We have 4 of our presenters here. We may have one more join us in person and one joining us remotely. Today, they're going to start by telling a little bit about their schools and also talk about the Guaranteed Admission Program. I have some questions that I will send their way as we go along, and there are also some folks joining us remotely, and so I will be watching the Q&A and figuring out what isn't covered already in this information. So I'm gonna have them take it away.
All right, are we talking about our schools now?
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
Awesome. Hi, my name is Maddie Lang. I am with the Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington. Quick things to know about Evergreen. We are an alternative college, so we are a 4-year public school. You earn a bachelor's degree. But our approach to academics is a little bit different than other schools. So students don't declare a major. Instead, you have the opportunity to kind of forge your own path. You take the subjects that you're interested in. Your credits always go towards your degree. And we don't have, gen eds, 101s, like prescribed courses. Most of our classes are full-time, 16-credit interdisciplinary programs, which is a fancy way of saying it's like one class you take each quarter, and it will combine multiple different subjects. So you might see a combination of like psychology and film, or biology and botany. You earn a Bachelor of Arts, or you earn a Bachelor of Science. And then at the end of every quarter, instead of a grade, you get a written evaluation from your professor all about the work you did over the quarter and how well you did. Goes into a lot of detail. It can be really beneficial actually for grad schools or careers down the line, because it's a lot more in depth than a traditional transcript. And we, like here, we guarantee admissions for GPAs of 3.0 or above. And we're out in the rainforest, so if you like trees, you like Washington, Evergreen is an ideal spot.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Jacob Jones Poulton. I am an admissions counselor from Western Washington University up in Bellingham. A little bit about us. We are a public university as well. We have a student population of about 16,000 students. We have about 175 majors. We're known for things like environmental science, marine biology, computer science, a great psychology program as well, and a good teachers to college. In addition to 175 majors, we also offer the opportunity for students to design their own major if they wish to. Bellingham's a very beautiful community with a lot going for it. And likewise, since we are all part of the WAGAP, our application process involves, if a student has a 3.0 GPA or above, they will be admitted. So yeah, happy to answer your questions.
And I am Gracie. I am an admissions counselor for Washington State and Pullman. So we do have several campuses across Washington, but I represent our Pullman campus, which is our flagship campus. We have about 19,000 students there with about 200 different majors. Majors range from agriculture, business, psychology. Really, I say we have every single major except theater. So we also have pre-programs such as like pre-law, pre-med, pre-dentistry, which are different programs you can pair with majors that we have. Majority of our majors are going to be what we call direct admit. So any major but architecture, nursing, or athletic training. Those 3 have an application process, but outside of that, they're going to be direct admit. Our application for seniors is still open. We close a little bit later than most schools, so our deadline for applications is until March 31st. That's for the upcoming fall year. And again, part of WAGAP, so with the 3.0 unweighted GPA is how we participate in the guaranteed admission.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Jacob Kroll. I'm an admissions counselor with Central Washington University, one of the big public universities here in Washington. We have a student population of about 11,000 and about 135 majors. I'd say some of our more popular majors, or the ones that people are very interested in, are aviation is a big one, education, we're a very big education school, very big music school, business, and I would say another big one would be theater. Since you said you don't have theater, we have a really good theater program. And kind of similar lines, since we are part of WAGAP, if you have a 3.0 GPA that's unweighted, then yeah, you'll be admitted to Central.
So the person that we are missing is the person that is from Eastern Washington University, and also it looks like our person from UW-Tacoma has some tech issues currently, and so it looks like right now is trying to restart computer. So the simple reality is that they also both participate in this WAGAP program. They're not here to tell you about their programs on their campuses, but they also, the 3.0 is the guaranteed admission as well. And then we also have two of the private institutions that are participating in a similar way. It's not the same exact program of WAGAP, but partnership with Bellevue, which is Pacific Lutheran University and St. Martin's down in Olympia. So those are the 8 schools here in our state who are participating in this new program. And so long as your students, if you release information to higher ed, that information is automatically shared with these admissions counselors. So if you are giving permission for us to share information, they are getting. So the vast majority of our students right now, I think I have 3 in my alphabet that have opted out. Almost all of our students, that information is automatically shared so that they're getting correspondences from these universities that offer the WAGAP program. So it is new and it's fantastic. It is a newer thing. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Can you talk a little bit about your admissions process and how students accept the guaranteed admissions offers? If there's any guidance.
Do you want to go down? Let's go again. Okay. Yeah, well, the admissions process at Evergreen is really, really straightforward. Basically, all we require are official transcripts and then either SAT or ACT scores or an essay. We're test optional, so you can choose either one, and that's exactly the same for guaranteed admissions. If you apply for our submit for guaranteed admissions, we just have your name in our inquiry page and stuff already. But the admissions process is the same either way. We just guarantee admission for 3.0 or above, and you still submit the essay or the SAT scores. But you'll be admitted and you accept it the same way you would accept a regular offer of admission, which for us basically just means paying your tuition deposit to secure your spot.
Yeah, likewise with Western, similar situation. Even though having that GPA is a guarantee for admission, you'll still need to fill out the application, submit a transcript, activities list, and essay. Yeah, so it's important to do those things as early as possible. If a student is admitted, similarly, there is that confirmation fee that a student pays, but really not too big of a difference in any terms of other processes.
Ours will.
With GPA, you have to be at that 3.0 by the time of application deadline. Is that the?
Yeah, ideally, if you're wanting to just have that, peace of mind knowing that I'm going to get admitted. But we are absolutely reviewing students, even if they have below a 3.0. We are, still reviewing applications and making decisions. So another piece of it too is we're rolling admissions. So the sooner a student applies, the sooner they'll hear back from us. And also likewise, if there are any questions about academics, it'll give us plenty of time to be able to ask for an updated set of grades midway through their senior year.
Same thing as that, yeah. Same thing as that for Washington State's application process. With WAGAP guaranteed admission, for us, it's the same as our traditional deadline. So same as March 31st. You don't have to do anything special on the application to let us know that you're a part of the guaranteed admission program. We already have that information indicated. You just fill out the application as normal. We operate on rolling admission, so you receive your decision within 2 to 4 weeks usually, and then for us, we don't have a confirmation fee. It goes straight into your tuition, so you would just accept that. So same exact application process without guaranteed admission. You just have that peace of mind of if you're applying with 3.0, we are going to accept you. Yeah.
So I'm a bit puzzled with the guaranteed admission program. Let us say there is a program, they only take 60 students per year.
Like an academic program?
Yes, and probably there is 120 students applied. Everybody has 3.0 or better. How do you make that
Yeah.
decision?
So at WSU, all of our majors are direct admit except the three I mentioned. The three I mentioned, you do your 2 years first of general ed and then you apply to your major. So you would still be admitted to the university for those first 2 years and then move on to apply to your major. If you're not in one of our 3 capacity constrained majors, they're not capacity constrained. So all direct admit students are admitted.
So
For all of these universities, it's admission to the university at large is the walkout.
Yes.
So it isn't necessarily to a specific major. It is a guaranteed admission to the university as a student.
So then how would the student choose the program? Let us say somebody wanting to go to a specific program. Let us say one of the health science programs.
Yeah, at WSU, if it's a program outside of nursing, architecture, or athletic training, you just indicate the major on your application and then you're automatically starting on the path for that major. If it's one of those 3, you're taking your general ed courses and some prerequisites, and then at the end of your sophomore or second year of college, you're applying to your major.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that differs,
Yeah.
but
Okay, so I'm familiar like with the direct admit to like UW. And so like, yeah, if you're like a senior in high school and you have the running start program, let's say, I mean, GPA probably isn't, I don't know, you're probably, I guess the direct admit is guaranteed also.
like if
Like
with
into
running
your
start
major,
student,
like,
yeah, if it's a case for us where they're coming in with like a full associate's degree and they've already completed all those
Yeah.
general education classes and it's time to start in a major and it happens to be one of those capacity constrained majors, we would just pair them with someone from the academic department to work on that and see what those additional steps would be.
Okay, and I'm gonna feel like a broken record about this question, but Central is gonna be the exact same. You still have to, you still have to finish, complete the application and submit it and everything like that. So even though you are, WAGAP says, oh, you can be admitted, you still have to apply. And then one key difference I would say from everyone else is if you are a WAGAP student and you're eligible for guaranteed admission, we don't need a personal statement from you. So it makes it very easy, and our application takes like 20 minutes. It's super quick. So that was the one key difference. And then I do want to touch on, so Central has one main very capacity constrained major, aviation, and the thing is, you have to, it's direct admit, and if you don't get in, you can still go to Central, but there's no guarantee that you'll ever get into the program. So that is one
That's
thing.
what I.
Yeah. That's one thing. So they take about 70 students a year and we get almost 300 applications a year. So a lot of those students still want to go to Central, or a lot of those students will pursue aviation elsewhere. But yeah, that's
That's what I was trying to.
okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
So like at Wazoo, you would, with a direct admit, if you wanted to go engineering, you're already in the engineering program.
Correct, yes, and you just have to keep up a C or better in your math classes to stay in that engineering program.
What if a student does not qualify for WAGAP? Should they still apply?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yeah, especially, I mean, with us, we're usually looking for like a 2.5 or above, but the lowest we admit is a 2.0. So as long as you have a 2.0 or above, you have a chance of being admitted to Evergreen. Please apply.
Same.
We, for us, we generally like a high 2.6, 2.7 or above, but it is case by case.
Central is the same as Evergreen and Western. 2.0 is the lowest we can admit. And then basically everything for Central 2.0 to 2.5, we require a personal statement. Anything between 2.5 and 3.0, it's kind of case by case. If all of their classes are up to code, everything looks right, then we might not require it. But if you're, say, missing a couple like high school graduation requirements, or maybe they don't have 4 years of English, then we will probably assign a personal statement to them.
On that note, a personal statement.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a couple of these questions that have been procured in advance, and then we'll come to any others. By a show of thumbs up, thumbs down, is personal statement or an essay required for admissions?
Oh.
Okay. Are letters of recommendation required for admissions? That's 100% no. University of Washington is also 100% no. None of our public universities in the state utilize or require letters of recommendation.
I will say for us, for both of those, they are technically optional if you want to submit a statement, an essay, a letter of recommendation. It is very, very rare that we use those for admission. So I personally don't recommend submitting them, but we will not stop you from submitting them if you would like to.
Yeah,
Same.
very much optional for us as well. And essays are required if you're not submitting SAT scores. So it's, you know, it's one or the other, but not specifically like a personal statement.
And on that note, tell me about SAT and ACT. Do you require, not require? Okay. These are some of the things that are most frequently asked, which is why we wanted to raise them in this space. Sometimes, and your students will hear this guidance from us as well, because we partner with all of the admissions counselors. In all of our lessons, we say letters of recommendation are absolutely not required. There are some circumstances where it may be really helpful because there's an outline or scenario of why, and that's really the conditions that we would want to assist.
For Central, if a student is denied for whatever reason, in order to appeal, we need 2 or 3 letters of recommendation.
That is the perfect answer, because other institutions will not even look at them, and you'd have to, they don't even look at letters of recommendation. Can you tell me about the diversity of, how diversity is valued in the applicant pool in the admissions process?
Yeah, so diversity is really something we value as an institution at Evergreen for sure. In terms of the admissions process, it doesn't really factor in as much because we have a really high acceptance rate. It really does just come down to GPA.
Same, yeah.
And Running Start, how is Running Start viewed in the admissions process?
Great, if you have Running Start, it's not going to make or break your application, but if you have Running Start credits, they will transfer into Evergreen, so there's that.
Yeah.
Running Start credits transfer from any of the community colleges or
Yeah,
like Washington Institute of Technology?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, any
They
community
did an
college or-
alignment a few years back to make sure that all of the course coding from all of our community and technical colleges all worked for the direct transfer. They are all.
Is that hold true also for like the, what is it, so you're not in Running Start, but you're getting college credit?
AP,
Yeah, any
Yes.
type of accredited
AP,
college
yeah.
credit.
They'll be college credits.
yes.
Yep.
College and high school.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Referring to,
Yep.
and yes, those are very similar.
If you have a transcript from a college, we'll take it.
Extracurriculars, how much weight do leadership activities, community service carry in the admissions process? And this is really outside of the guaranteed, because all of you are guaranteed admissions, but how much do those carry weight?
Yeah, so for us, if you have below a 2.5, that's where these things really matter and hold weight. Because that could explain, maybe you're doing a lot of sports. That could explain maybe why your GPA is below 2.5, just harder to keep up with work or to keep up with school. So yeah, we do weight those things when we do decide to admit people with a lower GPA.
Us, it's 0 in the admissions process. We only look at an academic review. We don't even have a spot for you to tell us about extracurriculars. We weigh that heavily in our scholarship application, which is a separate process. And that's when you give you the chance to tell us all about everything outside of academics that you do.
I would say we still strive to have a holistic review process where even if a student has, GPA in the range, we are still looking to see what kind of other things they have going on in their lives. Some folks are babysitting siblings, some people are working. We do want to take that into consideration when it comes to folks' GPA, but likewise, a lot more of those extracurriculars really play out in the scholarship review process.
Yeah, we're in a very similar boat. Definitely a scholarship application is a great place to get into that. There's no more honor application where you go into extracurriculars, but a great place to do that is the essay. And yes, like others have been saying, it's a really great thing to highlight. If you have a lower GPA, the essay is a great place to kind of both highlight your achievements and kind of contextualize your struggles. Busy, you can also talk about all the things you do outside of school. And our prompt is, how has your experience prepared you to attend Evergreen? So that's very open to interpretation. You can talk about all the things that kind of make you who you are and the stuff you do outside of school, but it's not a major factor in our application.
Scholarship process, is your your GPA the heaviest part to consider? You're looking at the full person when it comes to scholarship.
It'll be different for all of us, right? Do you want to go?
Yeah, so for scholarships for Central, we don't really take high school GPA into much, I guess, account. Yeah, just have to fill out the application process, which any student can do on our website.
For us, we have a scholarship application and then merit-based scholarships. So the merit-based scholarships are automatic with admission and off of GPA. Our scholarship application is 700 WC scholarships across campus. Some of them, the criteria includes GPA, some of them it doesn't. So that's very vast in their review criteria.
Yeah, similar at Western, there's a whole bunch of them that are automatically reviewed through just GPA, those merit scholarships, but the essay, the activities list, those ones we use for reviewing for other things. So there is not a separate scholarship application at Western, but we are just checking out those other things for things related to leadership or other ways of involvement in the community.
Yeah, we're the same way. We have merit scholarships for GPAs of 3.0 or above. You get those automatically when you're admitted. And then once you're admitted, you can apply for our internal scholarships. And that's just one big blanket application. It's mostly like, essay based. GPA is not going to factor into that as much.
Again, outside of the guaranteed admission of the 3.0 and meeting the criteria, how much does academic strength of the transcript play in? Meaning AP and IB classes versus core classes. Is there a specific number of AP classes recommended? This is something that we get fielded or sent our way all of the time.
Yeah, so great question. So for students with, below a 3.0, it matters. A student who is taking 5 or more AP or IB or just those kind of more college preparedness courses, that is basically brownie points in our application. How it works is our application is numeric based, whether we admit students, and each thing plays in a factor. So GPA, like grade trends. So if you start off not super hot, your freshman year, and you keep getting better through senior year, those are a plus. And then AP classes, those are a plus as well. And they're like brownie points, just increases the numeric, I guess, grade that you have.
For WSU, we care most about GPA and grade trends versus as long as you're meeting cater requirements. We are not looking specifically like APs or running start. It's great if you have them, and a B in an AP class is we look at it the same as maybe an A in a general level class, but we don't want you to take really hard classes if you're not going to do well in them. So we'd rather see you in general level classes and doing really well. So it really just depends on who you are and how you can keep your grades up and just be a good student.
Yeah, I would echo that, which is just that we want students to succeed, and it's great if you have those opportunities for running start or AP, but we would, again, much rather see a student succeed than really just overwhelm themselves. But we also understand that not every school has the same opportunities for access to different types of classes. So some schools, it's easy to go do running start. It's easy to take a bunch of APs. Some high schools, there's 1 or 2 AP classes offered. So we don't want to hold people to that same standard in that way. So we're very much just trying to see just those overall trends, and similar to what the others have said.
Yeah, similar for us. Just like running start, AP and IB is great to see, but it's not gonna make or break your transcript. We also review based on unweighted GPA, so AP and IB isn't gonna be worth more for your GPA in our review process. So Yeah, like everyone else has been saying, just, you know, we just want to see you be successful, and you don't have to do AP. We just, it's really based on GPA. It's very straightforward with us. Yes.
I saw, I think I read, there's the math cater requirements, which is algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2. Then I think I also read that you have to take math your senior year. Beyond that, if you, including or beyond it, but if you've already completed algebra 2, you still have to take math senior year.
Yes.
What if you don't have a math class this senior year?
So for us, unless you've taken pre-calc and above, so say you did algebra 2 sophomore year, pre-calc junior year, it's okay if you don't have a math senior year for us because you've completed beyond pre-calc. If you haven't completed beyond pre-calc and you've just did algebra 2 junior year, we need to see a math senior year for us. Like, it's pretty rare that our math cater is our #1 thing that we look for. So I'm not saying we can't admit you if you don't meet the math cater, but it's going to be pretty rare that we would admit students that aren't meeting that at WSU.
Are there any other subjects that qualify for the math cater than math? AP computer science?
Computers, yeah.
For after algebra 2, yes. Yeah. After like the senior year math, yes. As long as you have geometry, algebra 1, algebra 2, that senior year math, there's a lot of different things that it can be other than pre-calc.
Yeah, that's.
Where can that list be?
The cater website, is that where that list can be found?
WSAC.
WSAC, thank you. WSAC has the detailed list of how cater breakdown works. If you want to look them up, that's.
Yeah.
And you can also always ask your school, like the admissions counselor, like if your student is a junior and deciding what to take for senior year math and they want to go to WSU, have them email me and say, hey, I want to take computer science for my senior year math. Will this work to meet my math requirement? And I can let them know directly if it will.
At Western, we admit a lot of folks who don't necessarily have a senior math beyond having completed algebra 2. That being said, I will just say, like, just as a counselor, if a student really wants to go into anything STEM related, like, please do math your senior year. It's going to make your life so much easier. So
yeah. Totally.
So that senior year math component with algebra 2 completed, that would affect your WAGAP ask that, acceptance?
For us, yes, because WAGAP is with caters.
Okay, but not your overall acceptance if you're over, you're above 3.2 GPA, et cetera.
For us, you need it. Even regardless of what your GPA is, you need senior year of math, yes, unless you've completed above calculus prior, yes.
How about?
Yeah, so for us, we need to see algebra 2. Students, if they are missing a senior year math, we can still admit them. However, WAGAP, you don't qualify for WAGAP, but there are a lot of other courses that, satisfy the senior year math, like I think physics, chemistry, AP computer science, a couple more, I can't remember. But yeah, I would say in general, it's very helpful, but we technically don't need it as long as they pass algebra 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't admit without the senior year math. It's good to make sure you have all your bases covered with caters because caters are not very flexible. But at Evergreen, we can accept up to 3 missing caters. So there is a little bit of wiggle room there. We just absolutely cannot accept more than that. Oh, yes. Caters are core academic distribution requirements. It's an impenetrable acronym. It's not intuitive. Basically, that's just how many classes you're required to take in high school to be eligible for college. So a certain amount of math classes, a certain amount of English classes, social studies, that kind of thing.
And you're talking about senior math, but I mean, in theory, you stop at algebra 2 after sophomore year, you also need to have a junior math. I know. Yeah.
It's just, so I'm gonna jump into this if you don't mind. So when we talk about it with students, you can also Google and say Washington State, like the universities, because it's all State Board of Education that runs and helps to align this for all of their institutions. So these cater requirements are all statewide. And so all of your students, when they hear from their counselors, they hear that the recommendations are 4 in the core, so English, math, social studies, and science is the recommendations, because if your student follows that and meets all of our other graduation requirements, they 100% are meeting their papers. So know that, that's that when we talk to students about saying, hey, what is your plan after high school? If the plan is for university, we say the universities are really looking for 4 years.
This concludes session A. Session B will begin at 7:20.
If your student is a senior in Algebra 2, they are in the placement that these schools are looking for. So if it is that I didn't advance beyond Algebra 2, that is okay, because there wasn't an opportunity to do so. I'm in Algebra 2 as a student.
And we get emails all the time about like specific math questions and stuff. You can always email us and be like, this is my exact schedule. Is this okay? What do I need? We can help with that.
So earlier on, did you say if the student taken pre-calculus AP or something like that in the junior year, you don't need math senior year?
For WSU, that is correct. If you have completed pre-calc or beyond prior to senior year.
Okay.
And that's the same for all of the caters.
Yeah.
That meets the caters for all of the schools. Now, they always will say, we would love to see math and senior.
Would always love it.
We would love it.
Especially if you're planning to continue on into STEM.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what caters is again? Core academic
Distribution requirements.
distribution.
And if you can't find it online, you can email us and we can give you a link.
Celia.
3.0, no letters, no test scores, except for evergreen test score or essay. And the personal statement is really the fancy essay.
Pretty straightforward.
There are 8 schools part of this program.
So it is these 4 plus Eastern Washington University, University of Washington Tacoma, and only the Tacoma campus. So those are our 6 publics, and then Pacific Lutheran and St. Martin's are the 2 privates that are matching. They saw what these guys were doing and they said, we want to get on board with that.
Do you know what percentage that makes up of the total of universities?
It's the vast majority. The outliers are, the only publics in our state that are not on LOGAP now are UW and UW-Bothell. So the University of Washington, and then as far as private universities, there are a handful that are not, there are many independent schools. However, a lot of them are looking for the same requirements, right? And the caters are going to apply to those institutions as well. So these guys, they have made, the reason I really wanted them to give the thumbs up and thumbs down is for you to hear that this WAGAP has made the easy button for your students, that it has made it so easy that they know when counselors are saying, we want to see safeties on your listing guaranteed, they have told you, this school, you want to go here, great. Your student does not need to apply to 5 universities because they know that they want to go to Washington State University. They're guaranteed admission. Awesome. They need to do 1 or 2 applications, right? We don't need a laundry list because it's not a question mark anymore. It is now guaranteed.
Quick question, with the AP classes, you're looking at, say it's a B, you look at it as an A. The grade point in the high school though doesn't give that extra, or does it give that extra, like, oh, it's an AP class, so you're B.
Nothing gives any extra weight. All of us, they talked about unweighted by Washington state law, and I'm marking this in the chat right now. We are not legally allowed to weight our GPAs. So the law says it's on a 4-point scale. Some schools will re-weight things if they want to, and that's on their own accord. But anything is on a 4.0 scale. Now, 8th grade or high school level courses taken in 8th grade are on the high school transcript, and those will calculate into the cumulative GPA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question. If my daughter's taking gap year, do you recommend doing an application before she goes to
Have that condition.
For Washington State, we only defer if it's medical, military, something like that. If it's a gap year for fun, just wait to apply. Or a gap year for anything outside of medical, military.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
But it won't look bad.
No, we have a special process for gap students where they can write a statement about it, so we should be fine.
Yeah, they absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Campuses.